Are you in the market to buy a house in 2026 or just in the near future? In this video, I want to cover 7 topics of what you should look out for as a buyer when looking at purchasing your next home. So let's jump right into this. And topic number 1 is going to be the roof. And when looking at the roof, you are looking more so at patches or potentially a shingle replacement and or a roof coating that just kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, where there's been a repair made, but you don't know why. And the reason this is an issue is they made the repair to obviously stop water intrusion. But within that repair, did they actually stop the water intrusion entirely, or was it just a quick temporary fix? You're also going to look for this within the siding mechanism. So I kind of group this as one, that the exterior as a whole, you don't see any repairs that stick out where they've done a partial repair or a cover up from a water intrusion. So similar to number 1, number 2 is actually going to come in as a paint patch. And these are very easily noticeable, especially when colors are never going to match. It's so easy to notice. So if you see a repair done, and more specifically the paint, and let's even just say it's white on white, you will see the 2 different contrast of color in the white. That is an indicator that there has been a repair and or patch made where that different color association is. So one of the questions you need to ask is, what was the repair or what was the damage that was done, or what was the problem that required the repair? And go from there and have that further inspected while walking through the house if it's something that you do desire.
So if you do see a remodel taking place or you've seen a repair done, but more, I want to focus more on the remodel. So say it's a bathroom, maybe it's a kitchen, whatever the case may be. If you see a remodel that has taken place, one of the things that I want you to ask or pay attention to is, was this a remodel as a want or a need, or was this a remodel due to a repair? And in order to truly eliminate the problem with the repair, or the damage, that the remodel was required. An easy one is going to say, hey, I updated the vanity in the bathroom, but I didn't upgrade the flooring, the toilet, the tub, anything else. Well, was it because you had a water leak in said vanity? And if that is the case, one of the things you're going to ask is, was this a required repair and this is just how you fixed it? Or was this a true upgrade? And you might even be curious to know, who did the work? Was it a DIY project or was it a contractor? Where does that fall? What kind of quality of work went into it? Something definitely to pay attention to. Now, a big one that I see in my market a lot, and I mean a lot, is due to the fact that we have older homes, but it's foundation repair. Does that foundation repair more so look like a resurfacing or even a painting, whether it's interior or exterior? If it looks like the foundation has been repaired recently or tried to be covered up with paint, normally that is the seller trying to avoid any water intrusion that would give you a visual that there has been water issues within that foundation. This is definitely something that you're going to want to get a second opinion on if and when you want to move forward with an inspection on a property. Water intrusion is not something that is cheaply fixed, but everything can be fixed. Another big thing to look for is when you're walking the exterior of the house and you're looking at the siding, the soffit, the fascia, the windows. If you don't have a newer window, or if you see windows that have a very heavy latex or caulking around them, that is a telltale sign that there's been water intrusion, and that's their quick fix on trying to prevent future water intrusion. This is also easily caught. It's something that you can see with your eye. If you have a lot of caulking, whether it's at the top or at the bottom, now keep in mind some of these windows are designed with weep holes at the bottom, so if water gets into the framework, it can still get out. But these are things that you're going to want to pay attention to, because water damage is probably one of the hardest things to repair, and it's also very time consuming, and it's one of those where do you start and where do you stop types of issues. Have you ever walked into a house and the only thing that's updated is carpet? And maybe it's not throughout the entire property. This is a telltale sign that there was an issue in that room, or strictly the carpet. Maybe it's that you have rotted subflooring. Maybe it's that you had hardwoods underneath that are non-repairable. These are all things that you're going to want to take into consideration. If you walk into an older property and you've got hardwoods everywhere, but there's one bedroom or maybe a couple of bedrooms that have carpet in them, You personally are going to want to know whether or not those hardwoods are salvageable or refinishable, if you would, prior to the purchase. Because what if you want the hardwoods? Or what if the only reason you have new carpet is because of pet stains or pet damage or whatever the case may be that was to the subfloor and it penetrated down and through? This is a telltale sign if somebody's trying to cover up something that is a quick fix, very inexpensive fix. And like I said, if it is the main or only repair that's been done or renovated in the property recently, it's something you're going to want to check out. Lastly, I want to talk about a pre inspection. Is it great that the seller brought you a pre inspected report? It's something to utilize, but I really want you to think about this. Who hired that inspector? Is the inspector working for you as the buyer, or are they working for the seller? 9 times out of 10, realistically, all the time, I'm going to recommend, even on new construction, that you have a home inspection done. Why do I recommend this, even on new construction? Because we're all human and mistakes get made. But in particular, about selling a home, if the seller is offering you a pre inspection, again, they're the ones that hired that inspector. Now, should that inspector operate the same as if you hired them versus the seller? 100%. Is that how it always works? No. I would much rather you be out the $300 to $500, depending on the company that you utilize in my market, than be out tens of thousands of dollars for something that might have been missed. Always hire your own vendors when looking at buying a property. And get with your realtor. I'm sure they have a partnered or preferred list that you can dive through.
If you've enjoyed this content and you'd like to hear more about whether it's buying, selling, it's all educational based and it's here for you to utilize as a resource in making the most informed decision you can throughout your real estate journey. So please like and follow down below, and I'd love it if you wanted to comment, and I'll gladly get back to every comment that's posted.
If you've made it this far through the video, I've got a surprise for you. One last detail that I want to share with you, and that's your home inspection. When you've had a home inspection on the major ticket items, so your furnace, AC, water heater, plumbing, electrical, roof, those are probably your top 5 to 6 items on the property. If your inspector recommends to have it further inspected by a professional of that area, please follow the guidance of that inspector. I'm not saying it's always right, but it's always better to err on the side of caution unless you comfortably, as the buyer, can make that assessment yourself. Have a great day.